Yeah, hello and welcome back to the 924 project. Now, you'll be happy to know this is pretty well done. Like, I've finished up getting the trim put back onto it. I put a badge on the front here. I got to paint that the right colors here one of these days. I got new hubcaps made for the wheels, which I did on a 3D printer, and that's, you can follow along and see what happened there. They kind of worked out all right. Don't know what else happened here. Was mostly getting the trim together. Look at that, the car is a complete dust magnet from, well, this is a dusty place. But it all looks nice. I did finished up this stuff in the back here and built some little things for the cover the fender wells, which are supposed to be, and then cleaned up all the tape, and I fixed this door, and I made a new little thing for in there to keep the door from swinging too far, and then it actually keeps it from coming back too fast. Then I put a little bit of touch-up paint on here and on here, and it doesn't seem that that's not scraping anymore, so I'll put another couple of coats of touch-up paint on there, and that'll be okay. Now, right now I do have the gear shifter out because I'm going to fix that thing up, but that's, that'll be later on. I'll show you all that stuff later on. I don't think I'll have any more episodes on this for a while until I get a road test, or like over in England they'd call it an MOT. Here we call it a vehicle inspection certificate. I don't know what it is. Anyhow, but it's you get a sticker on the window that says, "Hey, this thing is a safe car," and everything is set to go for that, except for one blinker light here, which I'll fix one of these days. So, hope you've enjoyed this little series here, and it seems that I have a running machine. Starting isn't as great as it should be, but that will get improved here after I drive it a bit on the highway and find some things out. So there'll be a couple more episodes, but they'll be a long way off yet because it's middle of winter here, and that's not a middle of winter car. Like yucko on the winter business. Aye. So next week I think I'll drag the Volkswagen van in here and see if I can get the motor to start in the cold. It's got a cold start. Doesn't like starting in the cold. And I think I know what the problem is with that. So I'll get that done. Then I'll maybe do a few other things on the Volkswagen van. We'll just see what I feel like. Okay. Anyhow, end of this series for now, and more coming up on whatever's next. Hello, welcome back to the grind for another week, or another episode of the 924 Porsche, the dust magnet. Hey, a little bit of dust on it now all of a sudden. Anyway, today, now I took off this molding here because I've got new stuff for it right in this bag, and we're going to see if I can get that on. Give me a couple minutes, I'll get going on it. Yeah, it goes on pretty easily. You just put it over the edge and quick it down. Yeah, so much for easy, right? Anyway, sort of a two-handed operation. Get this right. Okay, I'll keep working at it and show you when I get it done. Yeah, there, it's all in. Now, I wonder if the door will close. Find out soon. This is from Amazon, right? And it's actually a pretty good material, this stuff. It's not cheap. And then I used a cutoff wheel, like a zip saw, to cut this, because if you try and cut it with scissors, it just gets like scissors or shears, then that thing there will get crimped on you, and it won't. Then it doesn't hold very well. So the hardest part's getting it down hard on the corners. So I put it all the way around here, and then sort of had to lift this half back up to get this corner in once the part along the back here was done. it was pulling on this corner, so he lifted this and just put it all back on again, and then used a rubber mallet and just tap it all the way, especially on the corners, to get it down tight in the corners so it's sitting down properly. Same up here, sitting down well. So anyway, didn't break the window yet. That's pretty good. Yeah, there the window's down all the way. It sounded right when it closed, and it looks like it's sealing everywhere it's supposed to seal. So I think we have a bit of a winner there. Maybe. I'll try opening the window now, see what happens. Yeah, it's up. The seal is up against the glass, or up against the frame, everywhere I can reach. So that's good. Now here the glass has come up away from the frame. What's going on there, I wonder? Is that glass? Maybe it's, don't know what's going on there. I'll open the window and see. Is that pushing the glass up too much? No, it looks like it's all right. I might have to get some. Is that got pressed down, pushed down somehow? First I've noticed that. Let me just open the window again and then take a look. Yeah, it's got the same lift there. Looks like something hit that one time. Isn't that something? I haven't noticed that before, but yeah, what do you know, eh? I won't try and unbend it because I'll break something that way, but I will maybe put some silicone. I'll get some black silicone and put it in here, or some paintable silicone and put it in here and just make it black. We'll just, or I'll just monitor it. If it leaks in the rain, then I'll do something about it. If it doesn't leak and doesn't leak air, then I'll ignore it. It'll be fine. Now, that seems to work all right, and it helps the door open and close. Like the door likes to close when it's got something to spring against, eh? So, there, that's good. Well, I'll be happy with that. And that's, call that a happiness day, right? And it didn't, when I closed the door, it didn't pull any of this stuff out again. So, that's good. Alrighty, so there. Now, I can take some, what do you call that stuff? There's a name for it. Mineral spirits, and see if I can wipe this stuff off with mineral spirits, and maybe that'll clean that up a bit. Yeah, so I cleaned the inside window with steel wool and so a little bit of whatever you call that stuff, mineral spirits. And that seems to have got the paint off it. I think I missed a spot right here and right there, but mostly it's clean. Then I went over the outside of the window with Windex and a new piece of steel wool, and look what all came off of it. Blue paint. So this was overspray from when I was doing the blueberry truck. Hey, well. So I guess I better do all the windows that way, and that'll make them clean on the outside. Then I'll worry about getting them clean on the inside. Amazing where paint sprays to. Okay, that's nice now though. That's looking good, and it opens and closes nicely, so I'm a happy guy that way. This trim here still needs some help, like there's some chips in the paint, stuff like that. Oh well, we'll fix it. Yeah, so there's the part that's been steel wool and Windex. You can see on the inside. I haven't done the inside yet. And over on this side where I haven't done anything on it, you can barely see through that window. So that's that steel wool and Windex works all right. Now I have to get this thing adjusted a bit. It's got to go that way a bit, so this will come up properly. Don't know what'll happen there if I do that. We'll just see. Maybe both sides go that way a bit. We'll see. Yeah, there I cleaned off the windows and inside and out, and they all look pretty good. A little bit, I've missed a bit of the overspray right here and right here, which I'll get to, and a little bit right there. Oh, and a little bit right there. Anyway, but that's, I know I can get that off, so it's not, I'm not too concerned about it. It'll come off in time. And then everything seems to be all right now. Okay, now next is well, door cards coming soon, and a little bit of adjustment on this. I think if I push that way a bit, that'll close that gap a bit and make that so that it fits better. This end here I think is okay, and then down here that'll bring that a bit closer over here, I think. Yeah, so I'll just push this a bit this way. That'll open that gap a little bit, but that'll be all right. We'll just see what happens. Yeah, I did a bit of adjustment on the hood, and this gap here narrowed up for whatever reason. I don't know. Shouldn't have I pushed it that way, but it seems to. So this thing here will now come up and down without interfering. And that side there comes up and down without interfering. So now that's right. This gap along here is very nice. Headlights go up and down. So we're good. Now I might take that cover off and clean it up and respray the clear on that. Just like I've got a rattle can clear right there somewhere. Right there. That might do the job. I'll test it on a piece of paint where I can't see it. Yeah, so this window, this door cover for the headlight on this side didn't come out so nice on the paint job. So I've taken it off, sanded it off with, I think that's 1500, sanded it down with 1500 wet sand. Then I've applied one coat of, like this, just clear coat in a rattle can. Sometimes it doesn't react very well with some of these paints that we use, but it seems to be pretty good, this one. So that, I think I've got most of the bad bits out of there. Another 2 coats of this and that'll be nice. I'll let it be. I've got a timer on for another 13 minutes and then give it another coat. And in the meantime, I'll take a look at these things here. These are the door cards. So I'll put some fiberglass reinforcement in around this area here and delete this speaker thing here, except that, you know, I'll leave the speaker. I have a speaker cover that I'll screw back in there so that it looks normal. And then I will put some fiberglass around this area here just to strengthen this area so that that thing there has a good thing to adhere to. Then over on this side here, there's a couple of these things, not bad. Not too bad. So I think we're mostly okay, except for just that area down there, which I'll try and fix up a bit. Oh, way over here. Yep. So now I've got 2 coats of this on here, and I'll show you what I do. It's pretty simple, this stuff. Just follow the instructions. It says 2 dry coats and a wet coat, or 2, you know, light coats and then a wet coat. Stay still. There we go. That'll be a reasonably wet coat. So I'll leave that, and then another 10 minutes, and then that's pointing all over the place. That's the 3rd coat. So I'm going to leave that overnight and see how it looks tomorrow. Put it back in the car, perhaps. Yeah, anyway, that's enough for today. There, you can have a quick look at that. See, in the top left-hand corner of that, there was over on that side, on the right-hand side, there was all sorts of yucco on there, and on this side here there was the same thing. There was all sorts of yucco. So A little bit left on there, but not anything to worry about, not like it was. And I think you can see your face in it. I might need another coat of clear on that. Maybe I'll wait 10 minutes and put another coat on. Yeah, here I am back again at the Porsche 924, and how did this thing turn out, I wonder? Here it is. That looks a lot better. There's still a little bit of a mar right there and right there, but you can't hardly see them, so I'm happy with it the way it is. It easily matches the rest of the car. I haven't changed anything there. And all I did was take off some of the clear coat and then put, sanded through the clear coat, which was where the problem was, and just put a new clear coat on top, and came out pretty nice. I'll be happy with that. Okay, now I'll put this back on the car and carry on to the next chore. Yeah, now that looks more like it, right? There's still a little mark there and still a little mark right there. You can't really see it unless you get right on it. There, you can see that right there. Right there. And over here, right in there. But that used to be pretty bad. That used to be like real bad. So now that looks all right. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now I think the next thing I have to do is fix the door cards. And then what? Who knows? Yeah, so I've got the door cards, and I cut a little piece of this same kind of cardboard, wood, whatever they call that stuff, pressboard, and I put it in between. I took off the staples along here, and I pushed it up in between the fabric and everything, so that it'd be like that, and that makes it pretty flat in there. And now I'll go ahead and do some fiberglass right here. Oops, right here, and so to keep it from sticking, then I'll put the fiberglass down, then I'll put a board on top like that idea there, and then squish it down. Then I'll just do some fiberglass in here, right along here mostly, where this thing here joins on. Don't think I need any around here. That'll be all right. Okay, that's what I'll do. Yeah, so there's the front side of the door card. It actually looks not too bad. A couple of spots where the staples came through, so I just pounded them back with a little hammer. And then I finished off stapling just right against the metal table. I think I've got an air staple gun that I bought it when I was doing the Volkswagen van. Might use a few more staples along here, but I think we'll be all right. Well, okay. Yeah, there I've got that. Well, here you can see, like I've got fiberglass along on there. This one here I've got it pressed flat. This one here is on a bit of there's an angle there, so I can't press it flat. And but it should work out all right. That's not like, that's just for a bit of strength in there where the arm handle hangs on. I put a new plug thing here. That's the only one I needed new. And there's a couple of these were kind of loose, but they'll hold all right now that they've got fiberglass on them. And the door is kind of solid. So leave that be. That's got to sort of sit for 24 hours. So I'll just stick it up over there, find something else to do. Now I would have shown you more fiberglassing, except that once the rubber gloves get on, then can't touch cameras. Yeah, so I'll have a look around. I lifted it up so I could have a look around and see if I did any good on the bottom side here, and it looks like I did a pretty good job of covering everything. Down low. Could have done better right there, eh? Not bad. I've got the panel covered pretty well. Just that undercoat there. I might take a rattle can and tape that all off and do it up with a rattle can. See what I come up with. This part here I could have done better right there too. In fact, I could have done a better job cleaning that. Didn't even notice that. Oh well. I could have painted that. I'll get the rattle can out for that. Underneath here is all right. Yeah, I might get the rattle can out and do a little bit better job on there. We'll just see. I'm not too worried about it. Mostly I'm worried about the this area here, and that turned out all right. Not perfect, but all right. And right there, I could have done a better job too, but oh well. I'm not a really pro. I'm not bad, but I'm not a pro. Anyway, I also noticed that there was a leak, a little drip of, see that little drip? And it's coming from that clamp way up there, which of course the screw is pointing upward, and I have to take a couple of things off to get to it. But I'll see if I can get to that and tighten that screw down. And that'll be okay then. And there's some dampness along the edge of there. I bet you it's that one up there too. So that one's got to be tightened up too. That's a new hose in there. Okay, well, I'll figure that out. I guess I didn't tighten them enough. And all the rest looks okay. That's good. So then I was also wondering, like, I thought there's a rattle underneath, not a rattle, but a rumble when it's running. I was wondering if it was this thing here, the exhaust pipe, but the exhaust pipe's good and tight. It's all hung well. But back here, this thing here has had better days. So about time to put a new muffler on it, likely. We'll just see how long that one goes before it all falls apart, but it'll be needing a new one of them. Anyway, now that's about there. I've left the fiberglassing over there to harden. Now I'm going to just do a little bit of inspecting on my, like, I've got this ESAB welder here, and I'd like to be able to weld aluminum, and I think I could do that using TIG, but I'd need to have a foot pedal on this thing to make the TIG work well. So I'm going to check on the menu and see if we'll take a foot pedal or a spool. Like, you can get a spool for a wand with a spool on it. That'll do it. Or else a foot pedal for the TIG. So one of the two. Yeah, so there, like, I guess you can use a spool gun on it. Mig-Mag spool gun. So with a spool gun and straight argon gas, this is an argon mix of some sort. What is it? Blue Shield it's called. I don't know, that might be compressed gas, NOS argon. It's all argon. That's argon right there. So we could use that for welding aluminum. But spool, I'll have to check and see what I can get for a spool. I'll go into the place where I bought this thing, see how much that's gonna do. I'll ask them about it. They're experts at it. I'm trying to set it up so I can see what's happening there. Here I am moving the gears. There, did you see anything? I don't know. Don't even know if I can get my camera back out of there. Yeah, so I've watched videos online now of trying to get this shifter mechanism out of here. But you know what? I can't even find anything that looks remotely to what I see online in here. I've got a 1979 with a 5-speed transmission, and it says that it's different than the 4-speed, I guess. But I don't know. I'm try and find it. Yeah, so this thing here showed up in the Amazon today, and I think it's printing my back thing. We'll just see what happens. Might be just filled in the whole thing, eh? Who knows? Way it goes, anyhow. Looks like it's about a quarter of the way done, so it's got a ways to go here. And it'll keep on doing it. Interesting. Yeah, first run, it printed the letters, but not very well. And this thing here, like, don't know what's going on with this. That was how it was holding itself together on the table, but then that just lifted off the table. But that's what's happening right there, just not holding onto the table. Welcome. Yeah, there's working away at the, like I didn't have much luck with the Porsche letters, because they wouldn't stick to the plate, but I think that's more the operator than it was the machine. But this thing here seems to be building a new hubcap for it. We'll just see if it fits. If not, I'll, like this one here, I'll use as an example, and then I can scale it if I need to make it fit. Yeah, I'm back out with the 924 here, and Buster. Came out kind of late. I was in there playing around with that 3D printer. Anyway, so I did get new things on here. They came from China somewhere, but the Porsche has all these wires that hook right onto the battery. There's 3 of them. There was 4, but this one, number 4 here, was only for the air conditioning, which I really I'm not using. It goes to a ballast resistor right here, and then into the air conditioning unit, but I'm not using that. So these other wires, I hooked them on, and they've all been shortened down over the years for some reason. But anyhow, they're all on now. I suppose I could put them all together in a connector there and then hook them onto there. I'll think about how to do that one day. And then the negative one's over here, and it's only got 1 wire on it anyhow. But they're nice clean connectors, and that's a good clean connection there. Okay, we'll see how they last, if at all. And then the other thing I've done is I was able to reach in with this special tool number 5 down into right in there, tighten up that hose clamp that was leaking, and right down in here tighten up the hose clamp that was leaking. Now I've got the hose off of the air filter for the air pump, so it does suck some air through there, so I'll put it back on the filter, and that'll be good in a minute. Nearly forgot about my fiberglass work. That's all pretty solid. Let it dry out again tonight, and this side here looks good. It didn't no over spray anywhere. A little bit over spray right there. That'll come off. I think, yep, there it came off. Then I'll put another little piece of leather here like I have on the other side, just so that it looks the same. Looks like it's supposed to be there. And I'll clean this up while it's out. So that's good for today. And a good solid door card there. Okay. Yeah, my number 1 helper wants to go in, but he can't find his leash. Here it is. I'll get it on him and take him in the house. That'll be that for today. See ya. Yeah, so I did a bunch of scanning on this thing here. Now this is for the passenger side, right? And the driver's side is sort of upside down and backwards of it, but it might give me the dimensions, and I might be able to scan it in and figure out what to do about it. We'll figure it out. Yeah, there's the once over with spray 9, and that helps it out quite a bit. Gets all the big bits off anyhow. Actually, it looks pretty good now. I'll put the speaker cover on here, even though there's going to be no speaker. There will be no speaker, but it just finished it off, so I'll get that out of the car, which is up there. And I'm out here again, right? Spending lots of time with the 3D printer these last couple of days. Yeah, this is the driver's side one, and I put this little bit of a patch on here because there was a little tiny tear underneath there. So I'll do the same on that side, so it looks, you know, they're both the same. But this, you know, this one here doesn't really need it except for cosmetics. That's all together and ready to go back in the car. I'll put this side on, but I'll test the mirror first, make sure it works before I put this side on. This side here I have to wait for a few things, so I'll clean it up today and check the mirror out and make this clean and put it back in the car there in the back. Yeah, here I am. Sewing Club's back at it here with just this little tiny piece, and it's going to go on right here, right? Like that idea. And I'm just going to take some glue and glue it on there, and that'll be good. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, I'll crawl in here and see if I can check these mirrors. Now that I just took the electricity to the plug here, and that side there I've got it tucked away where it's supposed to be, to see if I can put that door back on. Now, just see if something happens. Yeah, that mirror works. Okay, I'll be happy with that. Did you see that going? Up and down, back and forth. Good enough. Okay, and then this one here, here's a switch right here. And this one here. Good enough, works. So, the mirrors work. I'll put that door card back on, and that side there will be back together again. I'm pointing over here. I'll put that door card back on, and that side will be back together again. And I'll start wiping some of the dust out of here. Oh, there. Might be ready for the road soon. Hey, someday. Put the carpet in the back again. Clean it up back there. Yeah, okay. There, it's all in, right? But you know how much I love to do things over and over again, so it's coming back out because the stem for the lock is somewhere else. I don't know where. I'll find it. There. Nothing like doing it second time and getting it close to right. Anyhow, there's that door's all together and the lock thing is working. A little bit of cracking there, but not bad. So the dashboard all looks really nice since I fixed it, right? And so that's good up there. Now that other door, I have to get that finished up if the part for it ever comes, and I might just cheat a bit, but I'll see. There is a way I can cheat a bit. Anyway, that's now I didn't put this part in yet, like this bit here, because I'll just check my my 3D modeling thing and see if I can print that on my 3D printer. Anyway, we'll just see. I'll see. I'll close the door for now. That's all together. It looks good. Okay, that's done now. Yeah, there. That's try number, I think number 5 so far. I'll see if this one fits or this one will do it. It may or may not do it, but the I was able to get the logo to print on, or the crest to print on the top of the thing, and all in one part. And then these things here, that's like when you're printing it, if it's only holding on by that little bit in the center, then the printer will just knock it off the plate. So you put these supports on, and that helps it out quite a bit to keep from moving around. Anyway, we'll see how it fits, or if it fits. Now, if I ever get it perfected, it'll be all right, but it's not fitting yet. I must have measured something wrong. Hey, big surprise. Yeah, so I'm going to scale this so that it has another 5 millimeters down in here. Well, across, like that diameter, make that 5 millimeters longer. Then it might fit in tight, and that would be all right. Then I can clean up this edges here and stuff like that. Anyhow, it actually, like, that's not a bad looking thing, right? And if I ever get good at doing 3D stuff, I'd chamfer that a bit more in, right? So it's not so far out this way. Maybe I could do that. I'll have to get my nephew, who is the expert on all things like that. Anyway, that's pretty good. This one here, same idea. Actually, it sort of fits a little bit nicer. I wonder if I could put the logo up on this one. But it's a bit too deep, eh? Like it's quite a bit deeper. So I like that size, height, but, well, I'll work at it. Okay, more coming. Anyway, enough out here today. I'm going to go in and see if I can do something with all that 3D printing stuff more. Like, that's what I need. I'll spend my life doing 3D printing now. So, car's all right. That's my tester tire. And Buster came out for just, check it out for a quick one. See how things are, and here we are. Okay, see you later.
Yeah, they're busy working away at car number umpteen here. We'll see what happens this time.
Yeah, this one here is kind of a win. The letters came out fairly nice. They're not quite as big as those letters, but they're pretty close. So I might scale it up a bit and just take half of them at a time. See how that works out, or else I'll do them on a different way. But the trick to get them to come out right is to put an anchor on each one, and then they'll stick on the pad all right. So they go along all right with that 924. And this is all I had with the car. Yeah, so I got the letters to about the right size now. In fact, they're exactly the right size. Scaling is a issue with this thing. There's this one here. This is the latest one that I made, and it's a bit too big, but I made a new badge and it landed up like the other one was warped. This one here is nice and flat, so I'm going to put this on the front of the car, and I'll paint it and put it on the front of the car. See how it looks. Anyhow, things working out. Yeah, 3D printing, eh? So this thing here, that printed out pretty nicely. That might look okay on the front once I paint it up a bit. I'll paint it and color it and paint it and put a clear coat over it. This thing here, painted black, might be okay on the wheel. I think it'll fit now. That's umpteen tries later. And the letters. This is all the letters I had, plus the 924, right? But now I've got Porsche. Maybe I'll spelt the car wrong, eh? Spelled it wrong. And then the 924 I'll use the original. And these ones here I'll paint flat black and see how that looks, see how it works out. Anyway, see what happens. Yeah, there now I'm still a millimeter too big, so I cut it up like that, but then this broke right away here. Anyhow, but it does. There's what it kind of looks like. I think it's a bit too big, eh? so I'll have to do some modifying on it to see if I can get it to be smaller. See what I can come up with, but that's okay. I'll work on that after a while. Like I might be able to just scan these things. If I can figure out how to scan, I'll scan these things in, one of these in, and then that would do. See how this works out. But I'm going to paint this black and just see how it looks when it's painted black. And then the letters, I'm going to paint them all black and then put them on a piece of tape and carry on. So I've got this, I forgot I had this thing. This is a set of tools for measuring inside diameters. So you just stick it in right there, right? Tighten the end of it. It's spring loaded, tighten the end of it, and then you can put your caliper on it. I'll show you. You can put your caliper on it. Can you see that? Yeah. And then it tells you that's 64 millimeters. And what I have in there right now is 65 millimeters, 65.8 really. So if I take another millimeter off, that'd make it pretty near fit, I think. Well, I'll try it out. See what happens. Okay. Yeah, so the door stop thing, right? Where is it? Right here. This part here was broken. I tried welding on that, but that's some sort of slag metal, right? It won't, pot metal, it won't weld. This, so I made this, right? Looks fairly close. And the nut and bolt, where is it? This thing here. This goes through, where am I? Guess I gotta set you up or something. Hang on. Yeah, so here's this nut that goes through it, right? And it goes in here, like that. And then the hingey bit goes in there. I'll just put it in there. Hang on. About there somewhere, right? And then this goes through, and that just holds it on there and holds it tight. And then the door opens and closes. I think I got this upside down right now, but so I'll have to drill the holes in here, and then the door might work again. I ordered one of these things, but I don't know if it's ever going to arrive. Yeah, so there I've created this little thing, piece of masking tape with the holes in it, and it should fit to the outside of that thing fairly close to the same. See what happens. Yeah, there, that door stopper's back on and it works. How do you like that? And what it does is creates a bit of pressure here so it doesn't come flying closed on you, right? Whoops. And it closes, right? But still up here, right there, it touched right there. I don't know if it's okay now because I did change the adjustment on it a bit. This thing here, I don't think that's touching anymore. It's just about touching, but not quite. Anyway, I'll see, but I'll put some touch-up paints on those things, those two places, and see if they get touched again. Yeah, now that that's back together, I can put the door card back on. I'll fix up this plastic stuff somewhat. See if I can get it to stick back on there. I had some duct tape. Oops! Don't want to rip the plastic. That's sort of an important stuff because it's a weather seal. And I think that I've got this stuff here all figured. Oops! These wires here all figured out, but I'll have to sort them out. Get them in the right spot now. Yeah, so any of you red green fans out there, you can just call me Harold, right? That duct tape fixes everything. Anyway, I'll put the door card on it and that'll cover that in, but that'll keep the moisture out, so, or some of it. Yeah, that's back together. It only took 2 times, but got it done. This thing here just sort of doesn't fit as well as it might have when it was new, right? Don't know why, but that's all right. It works. I checked. I've got the little leather thing there. I've got the little leather thing over there. And just to make them look the same. Whoops. Get the cloth out of there and it might close. Maybe not. Oh, the that thing there is stopping it from closing now. Let's see how much it takes, right? That's coming up against something, right? This has got to come out a bit. Not much. Oh, I'll adjust that a bit, see what I can make happen. Yeah, that just had to be pulled out a bit. Like that was bent in. I've got a spare spacer underneath there. Anyhow, but that closes nice now. Everything's. I'm pretty happy with it. As long as I don't get it all scratched up in here, right? Which I could well do. Seeing as I'm so careful with everything all the time, right? Oh well. Now the only things, the adjustment right on here, poor, and right on there, but I'm going to put a little bit of paint on there and see if that scratches off again or not. Now, what else is going on? I got the badge here. How's that look? Hey? That looks not bad. Actually, I might just leave it black for a while and see what happens. I might just put that on there because that finishes off the front end, right? Hang on, I'll do that. Yeah, there. How do you like that, eh? I get it off the reflection of the lights. That's about the right size badge, I think. Anybody else wants one? Let me know. I'll print you up one. They come out pretty nice. Anyway, that's you can buy them online for like $200, and I guess I paid for half of my 3D printer with that. Now the other half I'll pay for with the wheel hubs, maybe, if I ever get them done. Anyway, that looks pretty good. That kind of finishes off the front end, makes it look Porsche-ish, right? So now, and I also have to do the back. So these ones here, the way I'll do that is I'll just put them on like the right spacing. I've got, where's my guide at? I've got a guide. Yeah, here it is. So here's a guide for the spacing, right? And I'll put them on the right spacing with a piece of tape, right? Then I'll put this stuff here, and then I'll see if I can get them onto there. But first I'll put the 924 on. I'm going to use this same 924 that I have and just leave it the way it is because I kind of like it the way it is. And then I'll be able to line them up with the 924 part. So I'll just put that on right away. Figure it out. Yeah, so there, that's the 924 back on there, which is, and once you put it on there, that stays, that stuff just doesn't come off. Well, you can get it off, but then you gotta do a bunch of cleaning. So you can move it a bit, like it'll do a little bit of movement, but it's on there pretty darn good. Then that's where the 924 sat before, because I can see just the little indentation of the holes that were there. And then the Porsche was in here somewhere, right along here. So I'll see if I can get that lined up nicely and see what happens here. Yeah, there. So now I'll put some of that backing on each one of them and see if I can get them stuck on the car. Porsche. That's spelled correctly, isn't it? Yep. This S isn't as high as the other letters are. Oh, might have to reprint that one. Oh well, we'll just see what happens. Yeah, they're all taped up and ready to go. We'll see how things work out here. A little bit of an overhang on a couple of these things, but I'll see what I can come up with on getting that stuff looked after. Well, what do you know? That looks not bad for a homemade sign, right? It's a Porsche now, not just a Porsche. And if you look really close, you can see a little bit of the tape underneath there, but you have to look really, really close for that. And that tape there, I've had that on my BMW, holding the sticker on the BMW on the back, the 913 or 635 sticker on the back of the BMW for 3 or 4 years now, and hasn't moved. So I made this level across the top here. I suppose I could have made it in the middle, but I think I'll go with the level. And that's the way it is, so there you go. That worked pretty good, that bit of masking tape, just to keep it straight, and then I hooked it on the top of here and then made it level across, we hope. I think it's pretty level. Looks like it's right. Looks good to me. Looks good to a man on, what did Fitzy says? Fitzy said, a man on a horse going 100 miles an hour, it would look really good to him. So there you go. I'll be happy with that. So all the tags are on. It looks like a Porsche now. And the door cards are in. That looks not too bad over there, right? This thing here, I still need to manufacture a latch for this, I guess, or figure out a latch. I don't know what I'll do about that. And then maybe tomorrow I'll do a cleanup on the inside of it, now that it's all, and get the back put together. That'll be a tomorrow thing, right? Because, well, it's 4:30 now, so I'll just go back in and start working with the 3D printer again. I think I'll go after this one and see if I can make it wider and what do we call that? Wider and shorter. I think I can, and I'll see if I can get the other logo tagged on top of here. See what happens. Yeah, so that one there, it's not bad, but it's a little bit too wide, eh? So this one here, I can make it so it's the right width. It'll be the right, and maybe look better. Okay, let's figure it out. Yeah, so one of the Facebook group guys, he asked if he could share this onto a Facebook group down in Australia. So anybody down in Australia watching, welcome to Back at the Grind. I hope you enjoy it. I watched some Australian stuff. There's a guy out in Western Australia that works on heavy equipment and builds all sorts of stuff out there. I forget what he calls himself. I'll look it up and see what it is. Yeah, this one here turned out all right. The badge is just a bit off center there, but nobody will notice that. I fixed it on this one. The badge is pretty well centered. So the first two, then I changed it again so that it's even more centered. But these ones I'm going to use because it takes forever to print these things, an hour and a half for that to print. But that's kind of cool the way it comes out. Now I'll just use a little bit of that body tape on here, like a couple of bits of body tape, and that'll hold it and it won't fall out of there unless you want it to come out of there, and then it'll definitely come out when you pry it out. So that is a tight fit on this wheel, right? That's a tight fit on that wheel. But on this wheel over here, which you know is, it's a not as tight a fit on it. And this one here has got that protrusion there, so that just sort of touches it. So I might have to just drill that out a little bit there. I'm not sure if that's, oh yeah, that's going in all the way anyhow. Not touching on it, so that's okay. and it goes at the same speed. It doesn't. Nothing changes. So I'll just put these on. I'll put these two on the back, and I'll put the two good ones on the front. But I'm going to paint these first, and then we'll get them on the car. See how it looks. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple of coats of paint on them. Just have to wait for them to dry for a while. I'll maybe put one more coat on in about 12 minutes or so. Now, in the meantime, this is the back, in the back of the car, whatever you call that, over the fenders. So I'm going to make 2 of these, well, 4 of them really, because what I'll do is I'll glue these 2 pieces together so I have a nice thickness, and then I'll cut it out that pattern. And this one side goes on one side and the other flips over and goes on the other side. Then I'll cover them with vinyl over there, wherever the vinyl is, and they'll look good. And that'll be in the back hatch part there. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna be up to here. Yeah, so I cut this in 2, and then I liberally put on the, whatever you call that stuff, contact cement. Have to wait another 16 minutes, flip them over and glue them together, and then that'll be good. That'll be double thick, and I can make 2 of these things without the hole in it, because that's a hole somebody had in there for a speaker. They cut into it, and it likely wasn't there when it first came out of the factory. So I'll see if I can make 2 of these that look like that, and then make them nice. Yeah, so while I'm waiting for the glue to dry, I just put a couple of pieces of that molding tape on here. Now I sanded that off in those 2 spots just to make sure that it's going to stick well, and it does. And same thing on this wheel here. And I just sanded off those 2 areas there down to the alloy, and that'll stick to that pretty well. Anyway, that might look pretty good when I get them on there. We'll just see. Yeah, so Sandra sent over Valentine's candies with Russ, and Russ delivered them. Thank you very kindly. We ate half of them, and it won't take long to get the other half gone. So here, now, these things here are on, and they look pretty good. Like they're the right height, and they're on there tight like that tape will hold them forever. Then if you ever change the tires, just gotta pick them off of there and put new tape on. And you can change the tire, take the wheel off without worrying about taking that off. And number 2 is over here. There it is. And the Porsche symbol came out pretty nice. So that's cleaner than the old ones. The old ones are pretty good. Like, I only had 3 of them though. Didn't have 4. If I had 4, that'd be fine, but I only had 3. So there you go. That's them. Anyway, I'll carry on. Now I've got this board here laminated, and I'll cut out 2 of these things. I'll trace that off and cut out 2 of them. Yeah, I just cut out the 2 sides with the skill saw. They gave me the saw. They really didn't give me the skill, but those lines are pretty straight, so that'll be okay. Now I'll just use a jigsaw and take this side out. Then I'll take the jigsaw and take kind of this side out. Then I'll cut the center out. Yeah, you want to watch me screw it up? See what happens? Wait a minute, I'll put you up here. Real time. Cutting with the saw. Lauren's woodworking, right? Or paper working. It's not really wood, that stuff. Where is it? I want to be right there somewhere. That'll be okay. Yeah, I'll clean it up with the sander after a bit. A couple of spots where it's got to, whoops, get in closer, missed the line by a bit, but not bad. So next I'll cut up along here and get that side done up. And I'll show you how how it make out when I get it done. Yeah, there we go. 2 of them done. And that one there is just a little bit big on it, like 1/8 of an inch, but I think it'll fit in. I'll test them out, see if they fit in the holes, and then I'll see about putting some vinyl on them. Yeah, there, that's in there. Fits pretty good, and it covers up this thing. The tire is supposed to be a like a mini tire, whatever they call those things. But my spare tire is a full-size one. Anyhow, this thing here seems to cover up everything. And then there's this thing here, down there. I'll get that all sorted out. Vacuum it out a bit. But I'll go and I'll get some, I'll wrap these with vinyl. I'll put some vinyl on these. This side up, right? And this side up. So we'll see how that works out now. There we go. So they worked out. Like not this thing here got glued the wrong way, hey? Inside corners are tougher to get. But anyhow, got mostly alright. I'll have to take a little bit of whatever you call that stuff and clean there. Acetone. Clean it off. Another inside corner there. And then I just made it around the back. So I'll get these installed in the car and then they'll be there. Okay. Anytime if the glue doesn't hold, you can put heat gun to it and that'll reactivate the glue. But I think I'm okay here. I'll just clean that little bit there. Yeah, here we go. So that's supposed to come up and all those snaps work on there. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, I guess. And then this thing here, like that back seat will come up if you want it to. And then this, like there used to be a speaker there, hey? So those things there just cover everything up. I don't know what I'll do about that carpeting. It's got, like, somebody cut it up, eh? And the carpet's in good shape except for where they cut it up. And a little bit here. Anyway, I'll take the heat gun to below here and get this stuff melted and flattened down again. And maybe take the vacuum cleaner to it a bit. And that'll be alright. So, it's now officially a Porsche 924. Looks pretty good. I think that's all for today. So, I gotta go away tomorrow and then it's Friday. So, I'll see you on Friday, I hope. Bye for now. Yeah, here I am 2 days later and it's Friday already. So I've got mostly everything trimmed done and stuff like that. I've got the other 2 wheel hubcap things that I have to paint them up, make them look right, and then put them on the car. That's for today. It's kind of late getting out here today too. Yesterday was a trip to Halifax and back. So, and then, don't you know, I was moving snow this morning. So I'll get the vacuum cleaner out. I'll clean out some of this, clean up some stuff in here and make it look presentable. And then I'm going to see if I can figure out a latch for this thing. Whoops, don't do that, Lauren. Those are important screws, okay? They go there. Okay, that's I'll get going on it, and then you can see now that the windows are clean. The defroster things I'm gonna build on the 3D printer. I'm gonna make little inserts for that so that they look nice from the outside. Then this thing here, I'm painting it dull or flat black. And over on that side over there, I put a bit of touch paint right here and a bit of touch paint right there. Hasn't scraped off yet, so we'll just give it a bit and see what happens.
And we're starting now.
There you go. Then that's first coat of paint on there, right? We'll just give it about 10 minutes and put another coat on. Yeah, there, so I just put a little bit of that molding tape on here. Then I'll take the red part off of it and done that over here. Then I'll slam the hubcap on there. Yeah, there's the front wheels done. So that's 4 wheels with new hubcaps. And I changed it from that molding tape to using this foam tape stuff. It seems to hold them a bit better, but we'll just see, well, you know, a few rounds on the highway and you'll know for sure. Anyway, there you go. It's they seem to look pretty good to me. In fact, they look really good. They're nice little hubcaps. They just pretty near exactly the same. Well, pretty near the same as what was original on it. Like, where's an original, I wonder? I got them all put away somewhere else. Hey? Yeah, all the originals are put away somewhere else. Oh, here's one. So here's the original right here. Put it up next to it. So it's pretty close to the same thing. Except the new ones are shinier. Okay, I guess I'm happy with them. Yeah, there, I've got the wheel hubs on. I've got it down on the ground again. And now I've taken the gear shifter out. I gotta see if I can fix that up. But that's one of the reasons it was loose and sloppy is there's supposed to be 4 of these little things in there and there's only 3. So I'll see if I can make some new ones of those. And that'll fix up the front end of it, maybe. Might take some slop out of it. And then, so that's on the interior here. So yeah, I just get it all put together and I take it apart again, right? Anyway, that's kind of it for today. Anyhow, it's Friday and I'll get a video out on the what we now have is a Porsche 924. Those are printed on the 3D printer and they seem to be stuck on there pretty good. And that's on. So most of it was getting the trim back together and getting the car, everything back together and cleaned up in the, did I show you this? I cleaned up in there and I put the seat up so that it all looks pretty good in there. Maybe I'll go and take a look from the other side here. See what I didn't look from the inside. Oh yeah, there you go. That's not bad. Still have to do some cleaning on the interior of the car, which I'm going to get to. But mostly it's done now. And yay, it's finished. It runs. It's sitting there and looking good-ish. And I've got most everything done on it. So next week I'll bring in something different here. I'll move this out and bring in something else. I don't know what. I think the Volkswagen van, I might bring that in for a little bit because I want to fix up the starting. It's got the cold start isn't very good. It starts when it's hot, no problem. So, which is backwards of this thing, eh? This one here, cold start is no good, and the hot start, well, the hot start is no good either. So anyhow, it's just tough starting this car because of that fuel thing. Anyhow, I'll get that addressed one of these days too, or one of these days that'll be solved. So hope you enjoyed it all, and come on back for some more. So for now I'm going to call this thing done because I have to, the next step is to get a road inspection on it and all that kind of stuff, and it's too cold for that right now. That's not gonna happen till spring rolls around. So there, hope you enjoyed it all, and I'll see you on the next one. Yeah, so just before I leave you on this one, I was able to find on the Thingiverse, this was a, what do you call that, bushing for a 944, a 911 throttle, which just so happens to be the same as, or close to the same as this bushing, and I just changed the scaling a bit on the printer, and you know, then let it have at it. I think it's getting ready to go. Yeah, pretty soon it'll go. It just lays down a little ribbon there, and then it goes and does whatever it does.
Bring it away.
And then it comes out, and it's, at the end of it, it's one of these little things. Now, these ones here, the inside diameter is too small, but I'll take it on the lathe and see if I can just very carefully drill them out, because there's not much. It's actually 1 millimeter there, so I'll see if I can get that figured out, and that'd be, anyhow, then I'll put that back on. So there you go. Yeah, here I am, heading down, what is it, the 13th or the 12th? Maybe the 13th of February, eh? 14th tomorrow? Yeah, Valentine's Day tomorrow. And I can walk down to the beach without the snowshoes. Yay. Because the snowshoes make it like uphill both ways. In fact, double uphill back ways. But anyway, the last few days were pretty warm, and the snowshoes packed it all down, packed in the snow where I'm walking. And then last night it froze well. So when it's frozen well, it makes it easier to walk on top of the snow. There's still like 1.5 feet of snow underneath me, but that's okay. Now here's Buster and I, right? And tide is sort of somewhere, part way in, I think, or part way out. All of the above. And one ice cake has made it to the cove. That might be the only one we get this year. But some of the birds are coming back. I saw a bunch of robins yesterday morning out in the backyard, and the chickadees are getting to be frolicking. Anyway, there you go.